Hello, I'm the Accidental Bookseller. Welcome to the channel. I am very behind on tags, and I know I've said that before, but I really am this time. I'm even more behind than normal on tags, so I want to make a concerted effort over the next week or two to get through as many as possible. I will be tagging different people in different videos this time because people start getting annoyed with me if I tag the same people all the time. So if I normally tag you and you see a video that I haven't tagged you in, it's nothing personal. It's just that I don't want to annoy you. This particular tag is the New Year, New Me book tag. I've been tagged by a couple of people, Alan at Alan's Reads and Madeline Reads, both fantastic channels. Madeline's is a newish channel, and I very much urge you to go to her videos and have a look because they're well worth watching and well worth subscribing to. Not that Alan's isn't, of course, but it's just that with Madeline being quite new, you might not have come across her before. So this original tag was created last year by Kevin at Kevin Toll Reads. That's since been updated, and I don't know whether Pat at Book Chat with Pat updated it, but she nominated Alan with the current version of it, and Madeline's version is also the same. Anyway, let's not get complicated before we even start. So this first question is, there's not many questions actually, there's only 8 questions. Number 1, fears. What is one book from your 2026 reading goals that scare you? Scare me is perhaps a little bit much, but the book I've chosen, I'm going to say concern me, or maybe even that's a too big a description, but I'm going to go with China Miéville's Perdido Street Station. And fear or concern is because of the sheer size of it, because I've nominated myself for 12 classics and 12 science fiction to read this year. Obviously, this is one of the science fictions. I've read King Rat by China and enjoyed it, but I'm conscious that Alan at Alan's Reads read another China Miéville, which I don't think he took to as well as I took to King Rat. So this is a big book if I struggle, and I don't want to DNF it because I don't DNF books. It's got to be something pretty major for me to DNF something. So that's number 1. Number 2, what is the one book on your 2026 reading goals you want to start immediately? Well, I guess not immediately, but one that I'm eager to read is Sirius by Olaf Stapleton. This is the 1964 first edition Penguin that I picked up at Wigtown. And the reason why I want to get to it so quickly is because of all the 24 books that I'm guaranteed to read this year, or I'm hoping to read this year, this is the one that I think has the best capacity to become an all-time favourite, just from observations of other videos, that what other people have said about it. So I'm very eager. I'm not going to rush to it because I want to, with books that I really want to read, I like to make sure that I've got the time and the space, and it's just the right time to be able to concentrate on something. If I'm busy with other things in my life, I don't necessarily want to get to something that I'm really eager to look forward to, because I might have to pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. So I want to get the right time to read this. Do you do that as well? Number 3, what book last year pushed you to reflect and or grow as a reader? I don't think there was anything that made me grow as a reader. There is one later on in the tag that sort of fits the bill, and I'll explain why, but it is more appropriate to one of the other questions. But the one that I am going to pick for this is The Secret Garden by, I think it's Frances Hodgson Burnett. I haven't got the book with me because it's upstairs and I can't be bothered to go up and get it. So I will put the photograph of the book cover up here. And it's obviously it's a children's book written about 100 years ago at least. And it's just the reason I'm going to pick it for this particular tag is because just because it's a kid's book or an established classic of a kid's book doesn't mean to say as a mature adult. I don't know if I can use the word. Do people use the word mature for themselves? I never see myself as mature, but as a mature adult, it's not necessarily a unusual or bad thing to go back and read a kid's book. You don't have to read adult books as an adult. Go back and read some of the classics from childhood that you never got to, because it's a classic for a reason. I really, really enjoyed The Secret Garden. Not sure why, other than that it was just very pleasant. And because it was written 100 years ago, the language used was not necessarily more appropriate for adults, but older children's books carry a lot more detail language-wise and prose-wise. So it wasn't necessarily something that was very easy to read as a children's book. It's just a very enjoyable read. Number 4. What is one author you plan to read for the first time in 2026? Well, one of the classics is The Count of Monte Cristo, and I've never read Alexandre Dumas before. So he's the one for this particular answer. Number 5. What is one book and or series you revisit for comfort? A similar sort of question to this occurred in a recent tag. And I'll say again that I don't reread books, or I tend not to. There's the occasional one that I'll read a number of times, but as a rule, I don't go back and reread them because there's just so many other books to read. So what I'm going to choose is a coffee table book, like I did with, I think it was the H.R. Geiger book. And this one is the book about Peter Bruegel, my favourite painter. Got this at the Brussels Museum, where there's loads of Bruegels. Very detailed and ornate, and in some of them there's a kind of an element of Hieronymus Bosch-ish, not the whimsical nature of it, but the horror aspects, I guess you could say. My favourite painting by Bruegel is The Triumph of Death. But this particular book, lots of prose, but lots of paintings as well. And it's something you can pick up to read as a normal book, i.e. just reading the prose, or it's something you can pick up and just browse the photos, which I do from time to time, browse the paintings, not photos. Yeah, so I kind of, that fits the bill of something that I can return to. Number 6, what is your favourite debut book or first book in a series you read last year? So this is the one that could have fallen into the number 3 question of out of your comfort zone, or pushed you to reflect or grow as a reader. And I'm picking Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Fantastic book, really fantastic book. And this is the reason why I haven't done a 2025 top 5 reads video yet, because I haven't seen the film of it, and I want to see the film before I do that, the 2025 best reads, because I can't imagine that the film is anything like the book. It's completely impossible in my eyes, based upon my perception of it as a cultural blockbuster film and the target audience who appear to like it. This book is a very adult book, very adult in places, and my perception of the film is that it's a family type film. Now I could be completely wrong once I watch it, completely wrong. So hence why I want to watch it, and then I can do a proper talk about it in, because it stands somewhere in my top 5 books of last year. And the reason why I was going to mention it for number 3 is, what was what was the answer? What was the question again? What book last year pushed you to reflect and grow as a reader? It doesn't really fall onto that particular answer, but it could, by saying this is a book that I would normally wouldn't go for, or people my age or with the sorts of books that I read might not go for. But I saw it on the supermarket shelf and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. And it's rewarded me. And I think more people should give books a go, just because they might have a certain perception based upon something being uber popular or it fitting a genre that they may not necessarily read. Just go out on a limb sometimes and give something a go, because this is outstanding. Anyway, so it's the first in the series, by the way. That's why it fell into number 6 as well. Number 7. Do you have a specific reading goal or challenge for the year ahead? I've got a couple. So I've already done the video for 12 classics that I'm reading in 2026. And I've done the video for 12 science fiction books that I'm reading in 2026. I'm also going to be running a project, November in Narnia, or Narnia in November. I haven't decided which way around. But it's got November and it's got Narnia in it, and it's happening in November, and it's the rereading of the Narnia Chronicles, the C.S. Lewis books. I haven't read them since I was a kid, and I've got a feeling I never read the last 2 as a kid, so I want to get them all done again, and that's happening in November because it begins with N. Number 8, a bonus question. Do you have a non-book related goal for 2026 you wish to share? I guess the major one is that I want to move house. When I moved back to the Northwest, for reasons that I've mentioned in previous videos, I had a bigger house down south, and I got a smaller house here, and you won't believe the number of boxes that are upstairs that I haven't got out. And whilst I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 bookcases and half a bookcase and another half a book. I've got 6 bookcases in this room, another one at landing. I've still got books in boxes in one of the spare rooms. So I want to get a house where I can do all 4 walls with bookshelves. I've tried a number of different ways of explaining it on this video, and maybe I just don't need to go into so much detail. So when I'm not required here anymore, that's probably the best way of putting it, I plan to move away again and get a bigger house in an area where the house price is such where I don't have to spend any more money, but I can get a bigger house for the money. And I've tended to go with the same ages of houses throughout my life, but I'm going to go for a little bit older and one that has a middle downstairs room that I can have as a library, a 4-walled bookcase library, which I don't have at the moment because there just isn't the room, and there isn't the number of rooms in the house. So that's what I want, and that's the plan. I'm not necessarily going to move away now, because I've realised from the caring for my mum and the fact that I'm not getting any older that it's not wise to just go away, live on your own somewhere where you don't know anyone, and something could happen to you where you do need someone. So I've got my sister in the area and different people that I wouldn't want to call on, and I wouldn't call on unless I needed to, but sometimes you might need to. So the plan is to stay around the northwest of England, but move house and get a downstairs room that is a proper bookcase library. that too much information? I've answered the question anyway. And then the final question is tag others, which I will try to do. This one's been knocking around for a bit, so quite a few people have had a go at it, but I will find several people to tag. And that's it. That's the tag. Thanks very much for watching. I very much appreciate you doing so. And if you want to see more of me, click like, click subscribe. And if you do subscribe, I'll hopefully see you again. Thank you very much. Goodbye.